In the previous video, we looked at the basics of WordPress themes. Now, let's dive in a little bit deeper and look at some of the individual files that comprise a theme. In the administrative side of your WordPress site, go to the Appearance menu here on the left, and then click on Editor. Here, you can actually edit themes directly. If you click on some of the files on the right, you can actually see what comprises a theme. These files are called templates because for the most part they're just HTML and there's some PHP mixed in to fill in the blanks like post titles, body text, and so on. If you want to look at a different theme, you can use this select box up at the top and look at all the files that are in that theme. However, for this particular tutorial, we're just going to stick with the default WordPress theme, which is 2010. Now, this editor has some advantages and some disadvantages. Most of the time, you're not going to want to use this. You're going to want to use a real text editor. But if you're just poking around in a theme for the first time, just to see how it works, or if you want to make a quick change, it can work. The files you need are listed on the right, and when you click on one of these files, such as functions.php, for example, sometimes you'll notice that a drop-down will appear just below the text area. This allows you to look up functions that are in this file that are in the plugins API. This particular feature can be really helpful when you're just getting started and you're looking at other themes just to see how they work. Now, you don't need to know a whole lot about programming if you just want to make some small changes to an existing theme. But if you do really want to dig in, it does help a lot if you have some experience programming in PHP. You also don't need to know a whole lot about the WordPress plugin API to make themes, but again, it helps. Now, the cool thing about WordPress themes is that you don't have to mess with the core WordPress code that's doing the heavy lifting. Instead, you can just change the way your content is presented using nice, well-contained themes. This way, when you upgrade your WordPress installation or move servers, for example, there should be minimal change to the visual presentation of your site. If you want to get serious about editing WordPress themes though, you should really open up your theme in a text editor. You get more powerful tools like syntax highlighting that can help you put themes together much faster. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use TextMate, but of course, any text editor will work. So let's go ahead and start out by opening up index.php. The first thing you'll notice, besides the syntax highlighting of course, is that this theme is well commented. It's always a good idea to comment your code. However, if you do plan to open source your theme, you should comment your theme and make sure that it adheres to the guidelines in the WordPress codex. Here we can see a function called getTemplatePart is being used. This particular function is located in a file called general-template.php, which is in turn inside the folder wp-includes. This particular function uses the PHP require function to include other parts of the template, in this case, loop. So let's go ahead and open loop.php. Loop.php is one of the most important files in this template and in most WordPress templates. In the WordPress documentation, it's often referred to as the loop, so we'll call it that. The loop is used to display all of your blog posts. When you use the loop, WordPress processes each of your blog posts and formats them based on how you format them in this file. So let's go ahead and look at this a little bit more closely. Here you can see this is where the loop starts, and once we're inside of the loop, we can use it to actually split out posts into different categories. So here we're styling gallery posts using the gallery category. A little bit further down, we're styling asides posts in the asides category. And then finally, we're just styling all other posts using else. After that, the loop ends. In fact, it's actually pretty simple. For the sake of this example, let's go ahead and look at how normal posts are displayed. Here we have an H2 and it includes an anchor tag that prints the permalink to this article using a function called the permalink. And then inside of this h2 and anchor tag, the title of this article is printed using the function the_title. And so you get the idea. These are actually called template tags, and you can see a full list of them in the WordPress codex at codex.wordpress.org/template_tags. Now, down below here, there are several more functions below the h2 that just print out all the rest of the post, like the body text or the excerpt if you prefer, the date of the post, the author, and so on. Now, while we're in here, let's go ahead and quickly look at a few more of these files. Here we have header.php, which, as you probably guessed, stores the site header. This includes things like the name of the blog, and there's also footer.php to go with this. Let's also look at functions.php. Functions.php is populated with functions that are specific to this theme, and they're not template tags that are included in WordPress. If you're making a theme, this is just a handy place to store your own functions to keep your code clean. And if you're modifying a theme, this is a good place to look if you see a function that you don't recognize. And finally, we're going to go ahead and look at style.css. Style.css is, of course, where all of the styles for this particular theme are stored. Now, don't let this huge amount of CSS intimidate you. If you want to split up your styles into separate style sheets or have a simpler theme, you can do so. Now, before moving on to the next video, please download a WordPress theme and spend some time exploring the rest of these files and familiarizing yourself with them, because there is quite a lot here to see. Now that we've spent some time learning how a theme is actually put together, we're ready to build our own. In the next video, we'll do just that.